What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the God and Gym series, day number 4. Today, I got a very important message for you guys. I was going to make a fancy little video, get some gym edits and all that kind of stuff that I've been doing. But then I started realizing that, all this is doing is literally taking up my time, distracting me from what the main goal is here, right? Sharing as much of the message that I'm receiving with you guys and as much knowledge that I have through experimentation with fitness and all that kind of stuff with you guys. Like that's just distracting me and taking up my time. I only have so much time on this earth, so I want to just share as much as I can. So I'm just gonna give it to you guys fresh, raw, and uncut is what I'm gonna. Well, maybe some cuts if I mess up here and there, and stutter, but you get the point. But today's reading hit me, and it was very, very powerful. And I was reading through the book here, and the thing is about this book is that I can't. It's not a regular book that I can just like give myself a certain amount of pages to read every single day is what I'm finding out. This is totally different. Messages are just popping out in front of my face, every time I read it, and I'm stuck on, I came across the Tower of Babel. That's what we're going to be talking about today. I came across the Tower of Babel, and God would not let me leave this part for some reason. As much as I try to keep reading through, I just kept coming back. My focus just kept coming back to that. And honestly, I couldn't think about why. I had to think on it all day long. And I even messaged a buddy of mine from the men's group. But it hit me all of a sudden. And this is what I started to realize, guys. Let me give you a little context here. I'm going to summarize this. This is, I encourage you guys to read it yourself, but this is what stood out to me, all right? So during the Tower of Babel, right? People spoke one language. The whole world spoke one language, okay? People moved east, and they settled in this place called Shinar. And they decided to build a city here, right? And they also decided to build this tower to the heavens, okay? And the reason why they wanted to build this tower to the heavens was to make a name for themselves and also to make it so that they weren't scattered throughout the whole earth. That's what they said, okay? And God looked down, he saw what was happening, and he said, oh, you think that's going to happen, right? And he basically made it so that they didn't speak one language anymore, right? He made it so nobody, everyone was confused. They all spoke different languages, which is why it's called the Tower of Babel. Babel meaning confusion, right? And you know what that did? It actually made them scatter throughout the earth. So what they said, this is why words are so powerful, guys. Stay with me here. What they said actually came into existence. They were unable to complete this mission that they had. All right? And what I got out of this, guys, is that it clicked. People tried to make their own damn way into heaven. Can you imagine that? Instead of taking God's way, they tried to create their own way. People are always looking for shortcuts in life and in the gym, right? Everybody's looking for an easy way, a shortcut that doesn't have to take discipline, that avoids discipline, that avoids consistency, that avoids obedience. See, God has a plan. His way is the only way, right? Jesus says this, John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, the life. And it's the same thing with the gym, guys, and in life. There's certain steps that you have to take to achieve these goals, right? You cannot skip over consistency. You cannot skip over discipline, right? You cannot skip over being obedient. Because if you do, you're always going to get burned, man. You're always going to get burned in the end. There's always negative consequences and side effects that can occur. And then you end up in the same exact place that you were before, right? And especially if you don't do something with the right intention, you just get burned. You get burned in the end, and you never complete the task. And you know what else happens, guys? Is that when you take God's path, right? It comes with all these different experiences, right? He's building this armor. He's building this Noah's Ark, right? He's building this up. You go through these experiences while you're going through the flood. Same thing with, your weight loss journey and losing weight and building muscle and all kinds of stuff in life, right? You're building this this armor that's resilient. And through these experiences, if you were to ever get knocked off the path, if something was to ever come in, right, and knock you off or try to knock you off the path, not only are you stronger, but you know exactly how to get back on the path. You have the blueprint now. You have the map. You've felt the consequences to actions. So knocking you off is going to be impossible because you felt what it felt like. You opened the door. You accepted God into your life. You spoke it into existence, right? This is why words are so powerful. As soon as you tell yourself that, all right, I'm going to get in shape. I want to get in shape. I want to do this. Different things are going to come at you. The answers are going to start popping at you. The door is open. Same thing with the Bible, right? Guys, when I first started trying to read the Bible when I was younger, okay, I would open this thing up and it wouldn't make sense to me. It wasn't until I accepted God in my life and I said, you know what? I want you in my life. I want you. I need you in my life. Guess what, guys? Answers started popping out. Then I opened the book and all I get is messages. All I get is messages. Same thing with fitness. I want to get in shape. Answers started popping out. Blueprints started popping out. I'm going through all this different stuff, experiences, right? Gathering all this information until I reach my goal. And now it sticks with me. Every time I get out of shape, every time I go off the path, I know right on exactly how to do it. Now, do you think these guys that try to take shortcuts in life, try to take shortcuts to get there, know how to do it? No, all they know is the shortcut. So they're going to get burned every single time. That's why it's so important to stay the path. God's way. Okay? So that was the most important message that I got out of the Tower of Babel. Now, again, I encourage you guys to read this for yourself because the way that I see it might not be the way that you see it. And the cool thing is we all go through different experiences. So because I'm like in the fitness realm and I'm so passionate about fitness, what I see in the Bible, a lot of it's going to be fitness related. But whatever you guys are doing in life right now, this is how God works. He works through us in that way. You guys are going to be able to relate this to, whatever God has put through your life and whatever you guys are intrigued in. This is why it's so important to read this thing so that we can take this, the seed from God, and then plant our seeds and then be fruitful and multiply, inspire. But anyways, guys, I hope that made some sense. The main message here is you can't cheat discipline. You can't cheat hard work. You can't cheat the natural laws. There is no quick fixes. Drugs, hacks, they come with harmful side effects. They set you back. They put you right back to where you were. Unstable foundation. It's not a strong foundation like Noah's Ark. Okay? And when you decide to take the true path, the truth, you get true results, spiritual and physical. And that comes from consistency. Okay? Put in the work spiritually, put in the work physically, follow God's way, and you're going to be rewarded. You're always going to be rewarded. There's so much proof out there to prove it, guys. All right. Anyways, if you guys like the video, please hit like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts about this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless and peace.